Mic
begin.
check. Mic
We're
check.
live,
Mic
baby. We're
check.
live, baby. We are live.
Oh,
Making
I
sure
got
you
you
guys
on.
see Muhammad Ali in the
Yeah, I got you
background.
on two audios. Okay, that's
I'm
better.
saying he's inspiration. But
Okay, let's
yes,
see. I want to put my camera somewhere
we're about to get to
good.
work.
Dude,
Let me get my
we
note.
already at
Let me
we
get my
at work every
notes.
day, man.
Get my notes. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have them. We got visitors. All right. NFL.
It's the only way to look at the results.
There we go. So
Definitely is.
we could start by going over our picks, our old picks.
Yeah, we'll start by going over our old picks, but all right, everybody, welcome back to the Basketball's In. Welcome back to the layer. This is week 6, headed into week
Week
6. But
six.
first, before we head into week 6, let's go over the week 5 picks. You thought I got only 2 wrong. Dude, I
I
got
did.
more than 2
I
wrong.
did terrible. I was like 0 for 4.
Oh my god. All right, so first game that we picked was the Thursday night game.
Yep.
Indy versus Denver. I had Indy. I won on that pick. You
Yo,
picked
that game was nuts. Okay, that game was nuts. How bad it was. But yeah, you got that. You got that. On to the next.
Giants, Green Bay.
Another one.
I I went with the Giants.
The better team lost.
The better team lost. All right. Yeah, I remember on that segment you said that the Green Bay Packers were the best team in the NFL. How's that?
Yeah. Listen, growing pains. All right, growing pains. Him and these receivers are not on the same page, and it shows. The defense didn't even do bad. They started letting up in the second half, but they was just tired. The offense got to do more, man, and that's on Aaron. It starts with Aaron.
Oh yeah, it
We
definitely
need to run the
does.
ball more too. Like, stop running the ball. We have two RB1s. Use them.
And two, I feel like Aaron is using that as an excuse too much, like his
Mm-hmm.
receivers
His
and Randall Cobb
receivers.
and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, just utilize the guys that you like, Lazard, Cobb, and I guess
That's
Dobbs.
Here's the issue though. He was forcing the ball to Lazard and Cobb, missing Dobbs on open reads, missing yeah. I ain't like what I
Yeah,
saw, man.
yeah,
You know he
you
likes to
probably
force
saw
feed.
more.
He likes to force feed. He used to do it with Devontae a lot.
Devonte Adams.
hmm Lazard is not Devontae. That's the first problem.
Yeah, he definitely isn't. So yeah, I got that one right. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. I went with Buffalo. I
We
think you
both went
went with
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yep.
Yeah. Chargers at Browns. I went with the
I
Chargers.
went
I
Chargers as
lost.
well.
Yep, I lost that one. Chicago at Minnesota. I'm pretty sure we
No,
both
Chargers
lost.
won. We went You went. You didn't go Browns. I think you went Chargers.
No, I went Browns.
Oh, did
I
you
lost that
really?
one.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay, okay, okay,
I
okay,
lost
okay.
that one. And Browns lost
By
pretty
two.
much on a nail biter.
No,
Yeah,
it was
Jacoby Brissett.
close. It was close. It was
And I
close.
have Jacoby in fantasy, so I was.
Jacoby's doing his thing, man. I'm happy
But
for him.
that I hate when fantasy quarterbacks are having decent days and then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden they throw a late game pick
Pick.
-2. I'm like, come
This
on.
was
And
separates the backups from the starters, man.
in the
Gives
game
them
he
that.
didn't even need to throw, like they could have just kicked the field goal and it would have been blouses.
Yeah.
But
Um,
tried to force it.
try to do too much. Too much.
Yeah,
Hate
tried to
to s-
force it. Next
hate to
game,
see it.
Chicago at Minnesota. I went with um
I think we
I
both went
went with
Minnesota.
did we go with
I,
Minnesota?
I I was
Yeah.
talking about how I like that offense. It's a complete offense on all levels,
And
running,
did they win or
passing.
lose?
They won. The final score was 29-22. But
Why
Justin
does this have
Fields showed out. Justin Field had a
why
good
does this
game.
have me as a mark? I'm pretty sure I went with Minnesota too,
Yeah,
but
you went Minnesota for sure. You went Minnesota
why
for
is it
sure.
red then? Did the Bears win?
No, Bears lost 22-29. I think you even said the Vikings would cover the spread. The spread was like 7 and they it's 22-29.
I think the spread was like 7.5.
Yeah, seven
Not
and a
gonna
half.
lie.
Yeah, seven and a
So
half.
I didn't cover the spread. I didn't cover the spread.
That's why. That's why. That's why.
I
That's
didn't
why.
cover the spread. So the spread
That's why.
wasn't covered. So technically we both got a loss there.
Technically,
And
yeah.
to be honest with you guys, and definitely leave a like on the video. And subscribe to the Layer in the Basketballs. And if you guys want to keep listening to some NFL weekly podcast sessions in regards to the picks and also some fantasy tidbits.
Yes,
But
sir.
we're picking against the spreads, and we'll explain that once we do our week 6 picks. But we both got a loss versus Minnesota. Eh, eh,
Um,
whatever.
I
We
think
gotta pick the spread. We gotta pick the spread.
Jets Dolphins. I think we both went Jets. We
We both
both
went
went
Jets.
Jets.
Yep,
Yeah, we both
and we
went
both
Jets.
won.
Yeah, solid game.
We both kind of saw that coming with Teddy Bridgewater, but
Mhm.
he
Mhm.
exited early. Yo, shout out to Ernie.
Yo, Ernie.
Yo, shout out to Ernie.
Yo, the fantasy gods don't play no games. The
Yeah, I
fantasy
went up
gods don't
against
play
an
no games.
owner who actually started Teddy Bridgewater, so I thought it was kind of
In
funny he was
true
out.
Dolphin fan fashion, he does this relentlessly. He always picks the Dolphins players. Hey.
Next game, Detroit at New England. I
Hmm.
went with New England.
I went Detroit.
I don't know why. New
Nasty
England
work. Nasty
flexes
work.
their muscle against Detroit.
Nasty work.
Seattle at New Orleans. I went with Seattle.
I went Seattle as well. We got that right. No,
We got that
we
wrong.
lost. We
Yeah,
lost.
we got that wrong.
It was the Taysom Hill show.
Taysom Hill showing for
He was a
sure.
fantasy stud, and if anybody listened to me, you picked him up in fantasy. You're welcome.
Yeah, probably so.
Fantasy
Atlanta at
stud.
Tampa. We went with Tampa Bay to cover the spread. Well, I went with Tampa Bay to cover the spread. They did not.
Yeah, which is
Um,
crazy. And that
yeah.
roughing the passer call was nasty work as well.
At least
Nasty
they got
work.
the win with that call, but
They should have
Jesus
lost.
Christ. Gotta feel for Atlanta, man. They just
Hmm.
keep getting nipped in the
They
ass with
fought.
Brady.
They fought tooth and nail for that game, man. I
First
hate to see it.
31
Hate to
20
see it.
28 and 3, was it 28-3 with
Three.
New England? Now we got somewhat of like a tough a game with roughing the
Can't
passer.
beat Brady. They
Can't
can't
beat
beat Brady.
Brady. Tennessee at Washington. I went with
I
Tennessee. Who
think I
did you
went
go with?
Tennessee as well. I'm pretty
You
sure I
went
went
with
Tennessee
Tennessee.
as well. Yeah.
Both got the win
We
on
don't
that one.
trust Carson Wentz around these parts.
Yeah, Carson Wentz is a little shaky, and even in Philly,
Did you
I never
see
really.
that interview? Ron Rivera? Did you see that
What
interview?
was what was the interview with
Oh man,
Ron?
he threw that man under a bus.
Yeah, he should.
He was like, yeah, in the NFL, the starting quarterback position is the most important position, and if you don't get it right, this it's gonna be hard to win game. And I'm like, put a bullet to his head while you're at it, like, ran him
Yeah, and I
over.
mean Carson Wentz needs to hear that, man. Like, he's a happy-go-lucky guy. Came from like a D3 college. I just feel
Hmm.
like he's never really turned the corner.
Just happy to be here.
Yeah, never really turned the corner and just trying to win games kind of thing. Like I feel like
Carson.
he's out there playing backyards football most of the time.
He's not using
Um,
Terry McLaurin, and it's ruining him for fantasy. Ruining Terry. Free Terry.
and it's just crazy. But speaking of quarterbacks, next game, San Francisco and Carolina. I went with Carolina in this matchup.
Yeah, I went
San
San Fran.
Francisco. Yeah, San Francisco. I'm pretty sure you got the dub there.
Yeah.
The reason why I would say quarterbacks on that one, Baker Mayfield. Carolina fires their head coach Matt Rule.
Very
Baker
interesting.
Mayfield. Yeah, Baker Mayfield's on the docket. Jimmy
Very interesting.
Garoppolo. What do you think about? By the way, what do you think about Jimmy G in
So
San Fran?
what I like about Jimmy G and San Fran, they have that continuity. Like they have the chemistry. He knows his timing with his receivers. He knows the offense
You think
very
they're a
well.
serious playoff
I
contender?
think they are more dangerous than people think. Like Debo Samuels is for real. Their running game is always one of the best in the league. Doesn't matter who they throw out there. Their running backs are always hurt. They throw another running back in and he'll run for 100 yards
Yeah,
because
Jeff Wilson looks massive.
the schemes. They know what they're doing over there. That's a dangerous team. Dangerous team.
Yeah, and with Kyle Shanahan, it's definitely like pretty
The
crazy.
Trey Lance experiment is not done though. I think I mean, if they keep winning, I feel bad. I feel for Trey because you
I don't
have
feel for
to
him.
stick
I
with
don't.
Jimmy.
I actually don't because let's be real. Before he got hurt, he
Hmm.
wasn't playing well,
He didn't look
and I
good at all.
think it sucks that he got hurt, but I do think that having the opportunity to watch Jimmy G again and not only see it from like a Super Bowl perspective, but from the perspective of like, dude, this entire team just counted this quarterback out. He
Hmm.
came right back out there and he deserves my job now.
Yeah, he
Like I
does.
think it's a good thing that Trey gets to see it, but I don't think San Fran's gonna like try to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'm not. That's why I'm not worried about Trey
It's
Lance. Like I
kind of
think
crazy.
this is like the best case scenario for a team that is like really really good and they have a young quarterback who they want to give it to but he's not ready yet. Yo, you know what it reminds me of?
Mm.
To kind of cross segue, it reminds me of Zion Williamson and the Pelicans. How Zion last year gets the opportunity to just be out because he has fat problems or whatever.
Get in
But
the
at the
shape of his
same
life.
exactly, but at the same time, CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram, they build that rapport that as soon as Zion comes back, like Jimmy
Mm.
Garoppolo or Trey Lance, it's like a
Mm.
well-oiled machine. But yeah, I like that with San
The
Fran.
perfect
And
storm.
yeah, perfect storm, and that's why I even like the Pelicans this year in the Western Conference. They're gonna be a really really good
I
team.
like the Pelicans as well.
But to move on to another like hot topic type of team, Dallas was at LA playing the Rams. I went with Dallas in that matchup. Who did you get? Who did you go with? The Rams?
I went Dallas.
You went Dallas, so we both
Yeah,
get the
we
win.
both went Dallas. We both went
Both
Dallas.
get the win. So Philly versus Arizona. I went with Philly. I believe
Hmm.
you went with Arizona, maybe. No,
No,
you went with
Philly.
Philly as
I'm
well.
not a madman. You was like,
So
Thank
we
God
don't
you fell off the
we
Kyler Murray
we
train."
don't cover the spread though. We don't cover the spread, so
Yo,
we get a
Kyler
loss
looked
there.
good. Can we talk about that? Kyler looked good
You,
in the second half.
uh, eh, what's good
Oh,
to you?
this is an elite defense, the best defense in football right now. Kyler looked good.
Are you talking fantasy? Or you talking just good in football sense? He and
Football. They
football
almost
sense,
won.
yeah, in football sense, Kyler Murray looks good. But what do you have to say about his slow starts?
Yo, it's crazy. He has the worst first quarters in in the league right now, as far as points scored, yardage. I don't know. Like it's like he needs to get going. By the time he gets going, they're down. So it's like I can't explain. It's almost as if he's not
Arrived to the
prepared.
stadium early or something.
Almost as if someone wasn't studying.
Oh my god.
Almost as if he wasn't prepared. I'm like, wow, they're a little faster than I thought.
Dude,
Wow.
I don't know. I
These
like Kyler Murray.
safeties, these safeties, they move around. And then after a little while, he's like, all right, now I'm adjusting to their speed. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. I hope he gets D Hop back next week. I hope that helps them tremendously because on offense, they've been lackluster in the first half.
I like him, but I don't know, yo. He doesn't come like you said, doesn't come prepared, and then at the same time, he's a very like complainy vocal
Hmm.
quarterback. Like he
Hmm.
doesn't seem like a tactician.
I will
Like
definitely
he
say
very emotional.
his O line doesn't help him either because he was
Bro,
spending
but
a
if
lot
you're
of time
Kyler Murray, you're
running.
supposed to be like one of the more mobile quarterbacks in the league, though, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's like a clear sign of like, yeah, I'm not trying to run. Like you guys
yeah.
got blocked from me.
You guys got blocked,
And
please.
yeah, and I'm just like, Kyler, bro, like your offensive line, they know who you are. Like
Mhm.
they know you can run.
Mhm.
Like
He
so
should be
they're I don't
running
want to
as much
say
as Josh Allen and Lamar. He should be.
he should be
He
running a
should be.
lot. And I'm not even saying runs like run up the middle for first. Like no, like scheduled run, like
Scamper.
run to the outside.
Yep.
Yeah, run to the outside.
Scamper.
Get a quick five. You can.
Yeah.
He could do that on many plays because he's that freaking
He'll
fast. But
sit
he
there and
just
try to get a deep strike.
yeah, or just like go east and west and then yeah, like you said, go
Yeah.
east and west and then throw it deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish Arizona was better. But our next matchup Sunday night, Cincinnati at Baltimore. I went with
Sunday night.
Baltimore. Who did you go with?
Cincinnati. I went Cincinnati. I
So
was
you got the
wrong.
win there. No, you got
No.
the win there. They covered the spread.
Oh, they did cover, even though they
They covered the
lost.
spread. Yep,
They
they covered the
lost.
spread. So I got the loss. With going with Baltimore. So yeah, it is what it
Cincinnati.
is.
Mm.
Baltimore does get the win,
That game was a
realistically.
nail biter too. Went down to Justin Tucker's leg.
So has your perspective on Cincinnati changed at all?
They are who they are. Great
And who's
offense,
that?
terrible defense, no O line. They are who they
Yeah.
are. Same issues they had last year, they have this year, and that's gonna get in the way. This is not gonna be their year.
Yeah, and also went with Kansas City in the Monday night game to cover the spread. They did not, but they do get the victory, an emotional win over the
What do
Vegas
you think
Raiders.
about that last play, man?
What do you think about that last play?
Listen,
You dude, you're someone who but Devontae Adams, Derek
Devontae
Carr.
shows his bed. He has to lay in it. So he ran a perfect route. Renfro kind of freestyled his.
And
Although
by the way,
Renfro got
guys,
open. hmm
friendly reminder.
hmm
The Layer's a Packers fan.
I sure am.
Devontae Adams
I
is
sure
his
am.
ex.
When they collided, there was a smile on my face. I'm not gonna lie. Mezzarini's company, we just lost to the Giants. To see Devontae Adams has never been 1-4 his entire career. Think about that. He
Yeah,
doesn't
until
know what
now.
that looks like. He doesn't know what that feels like. Hence, shoving the camera guy, spiking his helmet. Like he's never lost like this. They're losing games they should be winning. All they had to do was get in field goal range. They have one of the top three kickers in football. You can't get this man to the 58 line, to the 59. Like, yo,
Nah, they're not. They're not.
ridiculous. And then Josh Jacobs was tearing up the Chiefs. Why not run? Why not run? They had a timeout left. Come
I don't
on, man.
understand, dude. That's why I said I don't
Fire
trust
Josh
Derek
McDaniels.
Carr.
Fire Josh McDaniels.
I,
That's on both of them. Carr and McDaniels. Terrible. And then they went for two. What? What? What?
dude, I just
Oh.
don't trust Derek Carr, man. I
So,
can't.
and Josh McDaniel, let me be Josh McDaniels. So, all right, we scored the touchdown. We can kick a field goal, make it a tie. We have to trust our defense to get a stop to get the ball back. Or we could go for two, where we still have to trust our defense to get a stop. So why not go for one? And guess what? The defense did get the stop. But now you were down. Now there was more pressure on Carr to get these yards versus, oh, it's a tie game. I have a minute 30. I have the best kicker in the game. It would have been much more relaxed, more relaxed drive for the Raiders. Josh
Too much
McDaniels,
analytics, man.
Josh McDaniels doing too much, man. He's not a good coach. I'm sorry. He's a great OC, not a good head coach.
Yeah, I mean, we'll give him credit. Five games in. Still some time to go, but I really think even if Josh McDaniels fixes it, it still comes down to Derek Carr. Like I don't know.
How bad was Carr?
I
I
don't want
don't
to
think
say
he
how
had a terrible game. I don't think he had a
I don't want
terrible
to say
game.
how bad he is. It comes down to how much more does a quarterback like Carr need for them to start winning. Like
Listen,
you have a Travis Kelsey tight or light tight end in Waller.
done
You
nothing.
get
He didn't play the game.
Devontae
He didn't play.
Adams. You have a running game.
hmm
You now get the offensive coordinator of your choosing, and Josh McDaniel. I don't know. I'm a little indifferent with Derek Carr,
Yeah,
and
I didn't like the play calling.
I
I didn't
can't
like.
continue to blame the coaching staff. But let's get to the week 6 picks. It is time. It is time. Let's get to the week
Woo!
6
Let's
picks. All right.
go. Let's
So
go.
tonight, by the way,
Tonight.
I'm tonight. You can
Tonight.
edit this out if you want. I'm probably
Tonight.
calling out of work tomorrow.
Tonight.
Tonight, we got the Thursday night games. Washington Commanders versus the
Mm,
Chicago Bears.
mm.
Who are you going with?
The
By the way, Chicago
Commanders
is
or
favored
Bears?
by a half of a point. So keep that in
I'm
mind.
going Bears.
Washington on the road.
I cannot trust this man Carson Wentz. I can't do it. I can't. He has the better receivers. Yeah, I can't do it. I like Chicago. Justin Fields is starting to look more comfortable. They have a really good defense, actually. I'm going Chicago with confidence.
All
Montgomery's
right,
back.
Chicago with confidence.
Chicago.
So I've been listening to the Pat McAfee show a little bit. They've
Okay.
been on Carson Wentz's ass. I am rooting for a Chicago Bears win.
Let's go.
Secretly, I want secretly, I think Washington can win. Like, I
Mhm.
think they're like the better team because I think Chicago's
They
just
have
really
the
bad.
better receiver,
But,
De'Ami
but,
Brown, McLaurin,
but
Curtis Samuel,
for content purposes,
Logan
I want
Thomas.
to see the Pat McAfee show with Carson Wentz laying an egg tonight. I want to see that show tomorrow because there's a lot of fans of Carson Wentz on that show, and you know how like
Mm.
they're the former NFL players,
Yup, yup.
and so like every time their boy loses, they have to report on it,
And you know they're
and
biased.
it's awkward as hell. So I'm rooting for the Chicago Bears in that matchup, man.
Let's
I
go
have to.
Chicago. Let's
I
go
have to.
Chicago.
So Sunday, it looks like we do not have any game in London. So the first game
Thank
is
God.
going to be what a clock. First pick is going to be the favored 5.5 point favorites. The San Francisco 49ers are going into Atlanta to play the 2-3 Atlanta Falcons.
Don't sleep on these Falcons, man. They fight.
Again, San Fran is favored by 5.5 points. Who you going
They
with?
fight. They fight. 5.5 for San
Five and a
Fran.
half.
I love watching the Falcons fight. Marcus is doing a great job out there, but I'm going Niners. That running game is too solid. That defense is gonna be all over them. And then they got Debo. I'm
Debo.
going. I'm going Niners.
Not a bad pick. I'm gonna go with Atlanta on this one.
Okay.
Reason being, I do think Mariota has been playing very well.
Mhm.
I'm just going with this one because they're at home, and I feel like this is gonna be a nice little matchup for them against a very tough opponent, mind you. But I think that they can cover the spread. 5.5. I think
Five
San
and a
Fran
half.
might. San Fran might win by a field goal. That's kind of how I see it.
All right.
Next matchup, Cleveland Browns 2.5 point favorites at home versus the New England Patriots. This is an easy one for me. I'm going with the Patriots, even though that they're underdogs by 2.5 points. I
Mhm.
think New England gets the victory rather easily, flexing the muscle of the defense again. But who do you have? Cleveland versus New England. Both
Um,
2-3, by the way.
that defense, that New England defense is for real. Um, but the running game in Cleveland is also for real. Chubb is leading the league in rushing right now. This is
Chubb is
actually
doing really
this
well.
is a
It's a
good
good
one
matchup.
because
Honestly,
Jacoby
this is a very
knows
fair. It's a
Jacoby knows
fair
that defense
matchup.
very well. Like the sets, the plays. Jacoby knows. The reads. It's gonna be a good one.
Might be the honestly this game is probably my
Mm,
game of the week
I
for the one
hate
o'clock
going
games.
against the Patriots, man. I'm going New England. I think New England finds a way. They find a way. But that
New
one's gonna
England
be a
finds a
nail
way.
biter. That one's gonna be a nail biter. I can book it.
So if you think that game's going to be a nail biter, this home team is favored by 7.5 points. I think this game might be a nail biter. At home, we have the Green Bay Packers hosting the New York Jets at 3-2.
The Jets are
Packers are
hot.
fav- Packers are favored 7.5 points. Who you got?
Wild, wild. As a Packers fan, I'll tell you right now, we're not covering the spread. If you're betting, bet
Ooh.
the Jets. It's gonna be a close game. I think we win. I think we win. But I have no confidence that we win soundly. Like
Yeah,
the
on
Jets are
on this
hot.
one,
The
I'm
Jets
not
are
even gonna
hot.
go against you. I feel like I take your advice on Green Bay more so than my own. I'm gonna go with the Jets as well
This
to
is
cover at least cover
nasty
the
work.
spread.
Nasty
At
work.
least cover the spread.
We might
But
lose.
but I will say this though. I'll throw you this nugget. Green Bay wins this game. You guys are 4-2, and it looks very very good for the rest of the season.
Oh,
That's what I think.
just got an NFL update. William Jackson, the best corner on the Commandeers. I want a fresh start, preferably with a scheme that fits me well. That fits me better. Yikes. Trouble in
You
paradise. Washington, man. Get it
yeah.
together.
Hey man, and to me, like, it's just funny that players be demanding trades. Do you think he gets traded? You think he gets moved
In the
anytime
NFL,
soon?
they rarely do. But him doing
Yeah,
that shows the cracks in that team, man. That team is in shambles. And it all
yeah, it
starts with
definitely does.
Wentz and Ron Rivera.
Yeah, it definitely does. But yeah, I'm going New Jersey as well,
New Jersey,
or New York,
New
New
York,
York,
wherever they are.
New York Jets,
Freaking
NYJ.
Jets, man. And there's a lot of Jets fan on the lair, I'm not biased. You're all welcome. They've been chirping. All right, they've been chirping since Sunday. The game against
How you
the
like Brees
Giants.
Hall?
Wasn't even done. Brees Hall is a monster.
Mm.
Brees Hall is a monster. Listen, the Jets might come to town and lay a smackdown. Wake us
Yeah,
up.
I like that Jets team,
We
man, and I
better run
like
the
them.
ball. Aaron
Yo,
Jones
watch out
needs
for
a
Brees
hundred
Hall
yards.
and Carter in the backfield. They're using dual back.
Listen, our dual backs better out dual back these dual backs over there.
Yeah,
Cause
Dylan and Aaron
if
Jones.
Aaron Jones doesn't have 100 rushing yards, we lose the game.
This could be a battle of the ground game, to be honest.
We need to run the ball. We didn't run the ball last week. That's why we lost.
Let's look at the rushing yards at the end of this game. Whoever has
Yeah,
the most rushing yards might
we'll
win this
probably
game.
win this game for sure.
So next matchup, that Green dude, there's some good games. That
Mhm.
Green Bay game's a good one.
Mhm.
Next game we have Indy 2-1. They are
Indy.
going to be 2.5 point favorites against Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are at 2-3. In this matchup, I'm gonna go with Indy. They got the win last week. I'm looking for them to
He's
get the
riding the
win this.
horse. He's riding the
I'm
horse.
riding the
You
horse.
know
They're
what?
at home and they're favored.
For the sake of being bitter, because I still think the Broncos should have won, I'm going to Jaguars. Let's go, Trevor. Surprise them. Have a good game for once.
All
Right?
right, yeah, Trevor.
Trevor.
He hasn't looked bad.
No,
He
not
looks a lot
terrible.
better
Not
in his
terrible.
sophomore season.
Not terrible. But they're losing some games they could have probably won. Growing pains.
So a game that's probably some people in Miami are probably gonna hate. The Minnesota Vikings are 3.5 point favorites on the road going
Crazy.
into Miami against the 3-2 Dolphins. Who you got in this matchup?
I'm going
Minnesota's four
Vikings.
and one.
I'm
Yep,
going Vikings
Vikings.
sorely because I don't know if the Dolphins have a quarterback. Like they're about
Who's
to
the
put me out there.
quarterback? Who did
They're about to put me out there.
they probably have Bridgewater starting again?
uh, yeah, cause is he good to play?
I'm pretty sure they said he was held out due to like
Oh yeah, the concussion stuff. Okay.
yeah, the concussion stuff and like somebody spot like one of the
So
NFL spotters and so like it had to
so
do with like a
now that I know
yeah.
Bridgewater is playing, I'm still going Vikings.
I'm still going Vikings. Yeah.
I'm still
I'm
going
still going
Vikings.
Vikings. I think a lot of people look at Bridgewater too favorably. Geno
Yeah.
Smith is better than Bridgewater right now.
Gino definitely is. Bridgewater is a great backup. He will win you a couple games. That's not someone you want to have your entire season rely upon. So Tua
Yeah.
better hurry up and get back.
Yeah, certainly not. Yeah, I'm definitely going Minnesota. The next matchup, I think this is like an even matchup, which sounds weird. This team went to the Super Bowl last year. The Cincinnati Bengals at 2-3 are favored on the road against the New Orleans Saints at 2-3. I
Mmm.
think these are two equal teams, and it's
Mmm.
weird saying that. Who you got? 2-3
Bengals and
Cincy at two
Saints.
and three New Orleans.
Bengals and Saints. Oh, there's some good games, man.
Some
I'm
even
gonna
matchups. Like the
go.
matchups are just very even.
I just can't get Kamara and Taysom Hill out of my head. They might have figured it out. I'm going with the Saints. If they can run the ball,
Two
they're
and a
gonna be
half
hard to
point
beat.
underdogs.
Yep, I'm going with the underdogs. I'm going Saints.
I'm gonna agree with you on this one. I'm gonna go with the Saints as well. The only reason why I'm going with the Saints are at home, but also I'm scared for Cincy. I think this might be a down year. I think Cincy might go like 8-8.
Regressing.
Well, maybe 8-9 extra game, 8-9 maybe
I picked Jamar
7-10.
Chase maybe a little too high in my fantasy draft in my dynasty league, and Jamar, I need a little more out of you. You know, Mahomes
It
and
just
Kelsey be
depends.
carrying me.
I picked him first in our league, and I'm doing fine. It just
Hmm.
depends on what you picked
After
afterwards.
I have Mahomes and Kelsey after that, so I'm good.
Oh yeah, oh, yeah,
yo,
you're good. If you
yo,
as long
I
as
was
you're not
down
like relying
50.
on them.
I was down 50 on Monday, going to the Monday night game. I won by 5.
Oh wow.
Travis Kelsey and Mahomes like crazy.
Yeah, nah, you're gonna have to show me. You're good. No, maybe not show me, but
Mhm.
show us your see all of your fantasy teams. I could do the same
Yeah,
too.
we got 6 of them things. We got 6 of them things. We could
Yeah,
definitely do
we'll
that at
do
some
that on a
point.
different upload.
Yep,
But
yep.
it's interesting to know that like you took uh Jamar Chase, Patrick Mahomes, and Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
I went a different route, but that's crazy. You got
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes and Kelsey
Mahomes
with
and
Jamar
Kelsey.
Chase. That's pretty dope. Yeah.
Mahomes and Kelsey. Yeah, I like that team over there. I like that. I still got Patterson. You know, I was high on Cordell Patterson. He got hurt, but he was holding me down. Holding me down. He was a top back
He's not a
before he
bad,
got hurt.
and then the thing about Cordell, he's not a bad pick once the season gets like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
kicking, like weeks,
High
weeks
usage.
10, yeah, and not only that, his size.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to
Mm-hmm.
tackle
He's
that late in the
physical
year.
runner.
Yeah, especially when the Falcons are playing bad teams. Oh yeah,
Yup.
we got to play Denver. Russell Wilson's out,
Yup.
and Cordell gets 200.
Yup. Yup. And then you're
keep,
like, wait, is he
keep
lining up at
Cordell.
receiver? He just gashed us for 18
Keep
yards
Cordell.
already.
Do not give up on him.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of people might try to trade him. No,
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
Those are players you should. Another player who I look at,
Yeah.
same exact team, Kyle Pitts. That's
Kyle
another
Pitts
guy.
is a good
That's another
pickup.
guy late in the
Good
season,
pickup.
playoffs.
He's gonna eat.
You're he's gonna eat.
He's
He's
gonna
gonna
eat.
have to. People are
Hmm.
not gonna want to tackle.
Drake London too. He's figuring it out. Drake London's gonna be a good receiver in the NFL. I like what I'm
Yeah,
seeing out
there's
of
a lot. There's a
Atlanta. Got a
lot of
lot of
those
bright
gadget
spots. A
players.
lot of bright spot in Atlanta, man. Maybe next year will be a better year for them. Atlanta got a
Even with Mariota, I
yeah.
think that they will
They're headed
survive.
in the right direction. I like what I'm seeing out of the Falcons, even though they're losing. Even though they're
Even
losing.
though they're losing. Even though they're losing. Next matchup. This one again. I'm gonna keep the good matchups coming. Baltimore is minus five and sorry, they're 5.5 point favorites.
Hmm.
They're headed into East Rutherford, New Jersey, to play the New York Giants at 4-1.
Ooh.
So 3-2 Baltimore versus 4-1 Giants. Baltimore's favored at 5.5. Baltimore, the road team. Baltimore, the road team, is
This is
favored
spicy.
at 5.5 points versus the 4-1 New York Giants. Who you got?
This is spicy. These games this week are spicy. Damn. I want to
That's a
go
tough one.
Ravens. I want to go Ravens, but the Giants are playing some good football at all
They
levels of
are.
the field. Defensively, I think they went up another notch on defense. These corners don't play. Oh, Saquon's back. Daniel Jones extends plays with his legs. I'm going with the Giants, man. I gotta go with the Giants. I
You're
gotta
going
do
with
it.
the
I
Giants.
gotta do it.
I hate to be redundant. I'm going with the Giants too. I feel like
Mm.
this spread is a little off, but but I do think that this is a high risk pick.
Yeah.
I feel like we're banking on 4-1 Giants or like hashtag new look
New
Giants,
look Giants.
whereas Baltimore really could just be
I
just
really
better
want to
than.
go back. Lamar Jackson is the best player on the field
And like
on
think
that team.
about it, other teams who the Giants compete with in the NFC, the
Yep.
Cowboys.
Yep.
I mean, I hate to throw in the Eagles, the
The Eagles.
Commanders.
Yep. The
You know,
Commanders.
not really the best teams. Teams
Mhm.
like who don't even have their starting quarterback.
Yep.
Carson Wentz, or to name Cooper Rush as well with Dallas.
Mhm.
I just feel like Baltimore could potentially blow this one out. but
They
that's what
could.
I'm saying.
They
Like
could.
I don't. It's interesting to see like different teams play each other because Baltimore is like an AFC powerhouse. New York Giants pretty much the bottom dwellers in the NFC for a while
For
until this year,
way too
until
long.
right now.
Way too long.
So I feel like this one's definitely are you for real or not for the Giants, and we're
It's a
definitely picking
test.
them to be for real.
It's a
Yeah,
test.
and I kind of have to. We have to say that they're for real, right?
We they beat the best team in the NFL last week. You
Right?
know.
Th- And Saquon's healthy.
Saquon looked good. Saquon, did you see that?
Daniel
Did you see that
Daniel
juke?
Jones looks sober. He looks like a normal quarterback
I'm
now.
watching Daniel Jones turn nothing into something, and I'm like, oh, he's figuring it out. This is the Giants are here. The Giants are here.
Giants are good. And another thing, saw an article.
Hmm.
They haven't ruled out bringing back Odell.
Huh. That would be
Haven't ruled
that would be
haven't
awesome.
ruled out bringing out
Because
Odell.
as I'm watching, they're making this work with like receivers that are not really like
Tooney,
elite,
yeah.
elite. You know what I'm saying? Like Slayton. Like they're just plugging in receivers and calling good plays, good play action, playing off of Saquon. they get a good number one. Whoo, New York, New York.
And just Odell's camaraderie alone, you would
Mm-hmm.
have to think that his
Presence.
antics on the side, yeah, his antics are like gone. Like the dude is,
And you
you know,
know Odell is
he's
good
suffered
for
so many injuries at this point. He's definitely way more humble now, and he
and
has a kid.
he's still a playmaker. Like Odell will still give you a drive
Yeah.
where you're like, whoa, flashes of greatness, and you get a touchdown out of it. Like,
And there were some reports that New England was actually interested in Odell, but if he was to go to the Giants, I think that to me is also not as bad as a move. Like I think New York would be a good team for him to re-up with.
I guess he didn't like the Rams' initial offer, but apparently, Sean McVay says this is not our final offer, so they're probably gonna move the money up a little bit. I think he's ready to play. Look out for Odell to be picked up within the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I think Odell might also be kind of leveraging some playing time. Like I don't think that he's
I
trying. Like
mean,
I feel like
he's one of those guys. Like, he's like a Kyrie Irving to me. The less games he plays in there during the regular season, the better off you are because you want him for the playoffs.
And to me, unlike Kyrie, Odell has the opportunity to kind of free himself from the LeBron or Kevin Durant type of player
Mm,
if he leaves Cooper Cup. That I like. I
mm,
think I don't know if staying with Cooper Cup is good for him. Like
right.
I think Odell playing with a decent to good quarterback, but a team that's not reliant on the passing game. I think that's his best gadget. You know,
I
being
think,
used even as a runner. Like that's why I look at New England, all the reverses and the gadget plays. Odell would be perfect
and he
for
still
that.
got some wheels. Like he can escape. That's what I love watching Odell. He's really good after the catch as well. Like just
Are you in
taking
agreement
off.
with me that maybe signing with the Rams isn't the best option?
I agree, and I also think the Giants storyline it just looks better. You know, go to finish the job with the franchise that made you like it's nothing better. Nothing but I want him to retire a Giant. How about
So
that?
let me pick your brain. You agree as well that signing with a team like Green Bay is a bad thing for Odell.
Yes, yes. He's gonna want a team that's not gonna utilize him too much, if that makes
And
sense.
then
Like,
two, I feel like a team like, and I'll name another team like Green Bay, a team like Green Bay, Kansas City,
hmm
shit,
oh
Dallas,
yeah,
all
yeah.
of these high pressure teams who are looking to like, you know, hyper criticize their seasons once it ends. Odell can't be a part of that. He has to be on a team that if he loses or they don't win a Super Bowl, the sky isn't going to come falling down.
Down. Go back to the
And
Browns.
and that's why I like the Giants, like because it's a nice story. I
hmm
like the Patriots. You're playing with a
hmm
Hall of Fame coach. But I really can't wait for Odell to get back on the field.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Um,
fun.
and speaking of, I guess teams who had or still have some elite wide receivers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are heavily favored.
Okay.
At 3-2, heading into Pittsburgh at 1-4. I'm gonna go with
That
the
one's an
Tampa
easy
Bay.
one, man. Tampa Bay.
I'm going with Tampa Bay
Tampa
covering this
Bay.
spread.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I think we're yeah. Steelers are not.
They're 9.5 point
Steelers are
favorites
not a
too, and
threat right now.
I'm only choosing Tampa in this regard to test the spread.
Um, I
Tampa
love
should be able to cover this.
I love Mike Tomlin. He's a phenomenal coach. The Steelers do not have the personnel to be successful right now, as constructed. So
Yeah, and I think mainly the injury status or the healthy, or maybe he's not healthy.
T.J. Watt,
Um,
Minka
Najee
Fitzpatrick,
Harris, yeah,
everybody's hurt.
a lot of guys are banged up out there in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. So let's move on. Our first 4 o'clock game. We'll be having the Rams, who are 10.5 point favorites at 2-3. They have them blowing out the Carolina Panthers. No head coach at 1-4. Rams, Carolina. Rams are at home.
Rams by a lot.
Rams by a
This
lot.
is a
I gotta
feel
go with.
good game for the Rams coming off a loss.
I'm going Rams by a lot as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Next game, I think this one is going to be tough for you. Seattle's at home at 2-3. They are the underdogs against the Arizona Cardinals. Three and a
Ah.
half point favorite. 3.5 point favorites. The Cardinals are.
Who's home?
Seattle.
I'm going Seattle.
I'm going Seattle. I'm
It's
going
tough
with the
to win over
12th
there.
man.
It's tough to win over there.
I'm going
And
with the 12th man.
Gino
Yep.
was good. Gino was good. Gino's cooking. It's not Russ cooking. It's Gino.
Yeah. So the final three games of Week 6 are a
Ooh.
doozy.
Ooh.
First game at
Ooh.
425. This one would be the game that's kind of bringing you into the Sunday night game. We have the Buffalo
Ooh.
Bills, who are 3.5 point favorites
How?
against the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead.
How is that not the 8 o'clock game?
You'll
How?
see why. You'll see why. At
Ooh.
425, Buffalo at Kansas City. Who do you got? Mm, mm.
Josh Allen.
You're going Josh Allen,
Josh Allen.
Buffalo.
Josh Allen.
I'm good for the sake of being against the grain. I can easily pick an argument for Kansas City. They are
Easy.
underdogs in this situation, and I still think he comes out with a vengeance. And down to the Raiders having the comeback, and dude, there's a lot of emotions were shared on Monday. I got video of Patrick Mahomes at preseason NBA games
Yep.
telling his wife telling his wife to put on a smile. Patrick
Mm.
Mahomes is pissed off this year.
Mhm.
And I think that this is an opportunity for him to kind of fight back. I'm gonna go with Kansas City in this one. It's gonna be a tough one. Buffalo's tough, bro.
Buffalo is tough, man. Cause
Buffalo's tough.
offensively, you got Gabe Davis, Diggs, Josh Allen, Josh Allen's legs. They're just figuring out they have running backs. They're like, oh yeah, they do they are useful sometimes, and then they have a good defense. They have a really good defense. The Chiefs, Travis Kelsey and Mahomes, that combo is unguardable, unstoppable. But outside of that, I don't trust those receivers yet. But Mahomes is magical, man. Mahomes makes stuff happen. It's gonna be a good game. That's the game of the week for me, easily,
Yeah, and if I was to
easily.
choose a team that's better, like power rankings wise, we should come out with a power rankings, by the way.
Mm,
If I was to choose a team that's better, power rankings wise, Buffalo's better.
yeah.
I just think Kansas City's at home and Patrick Mahomes is pissed off.
Andy Reid is a genius too. Offensive. Some
Yeah.
we are witnessing a coach that is just at the top of his game. All right. This is the
With his
man.
with the best tool in the
This
tool
is the
shed.
man that made McNabb a top five quarterback for his most of his career, then turned around and turned Alex Smith into a Pro Bowler. Alex Smith, a game manager, got him to a Pro Bowl, and then Michael Vick. He took Michael Vick right out of jail, made him an MVP candidate, and now he has Mahomes, and it's a match made in heaven. Oh, I love watching the Chiefs offense. I still
Yeah,
got the
the
Bills.
Chiefs,
I
the
still got the
Chiefs,
Bills.
the Chiefs are just like I feel like they're still missing so much, and I think it's by design
Mhm.
because they don't want to pay so many people. But
Mhm.
the Chiefs are certainly just going to be a problem with Mahomes alone.
Mhm.
But you mentioned McNabb. You mentioned, why the hell is this game not the Sunday night game? Dude, we got Dallas and Philadelphia.
Oh, the rivalry. The
The greatest
rivalry.
rivalry in the
The
NFL.
rivalry.
Philly is favored 6.5 points. Dallas is 4-1. Philly's 5-0. I don't know when the last time a game like this has occurred.
You know who's 4-0? Cooper Rush. All right, he's
Yep,
undefeated.
Cooper Rush.
He
Yep,
doesn't know
and
what a loss is.
was watching First Take, and a lot. The big question, and you could definitely answer it. They said, "Who does this? Like which team needs this game the most?" And
Ooh.
I feel like this game. I think the team that needs this game the most is Dallas.
This will be a good test for that Eagles team. I feel they haven't been truly tested yet. I like Cooper Rush, man. I like Cooper Rush. It's hard to bet against Jalen Hurts. I'm going Philly.
You're going Philly.
I'm going Philly.
I'm going Dallas. I told you
Yee,
before.
let's go.
I told you last week.
I'm gonna
I'm
tell
rooting
you
for
again.
Dallas to win every freaking game
Let's go.
until Dak comes back. The reason why is because I want Dallas Cowboy fans to finally realize you don't need players. It's about the scheme and how you run your offense and things like that. Cooper
I
Rush
agree.
is doing everything right.
No, yeah, yeah. Yo,
He's doing everything
the
right. Nothing
receivers
spectacular.
are smiling. like,
Again.
like, I,
Dude, so, and
it's gonna
I'm
be
rooting for
tough.
Dallas
It's gonna be
because
tough.
I do think that they made a mistake giving him that contract.
They
Not to
didn't
say
want
that
to. They didn't
not
want
to say
to.
that he doesn't deserve it, but the team doesn't need Dak. And I think this is a moment where Dallas has an opportunity to kind of
Move on.
remove itself from Dak Prescott and move on. Just like Tony Romo situate like it's time to move on. And
That's who should be in
I think
Carolina.
Dak should be dealt. That's
Dak
really
should be
what
in
I'm kind
Carolina.
of being.
Dak should be with DJ Moore and
That would be pretty
McCaffrey,
sick.
and yeah, that's where Dak should be, not Baker Mayfield. But that's a
That would
whole
be
other
pretty
conversation.
sick. A Dak for Baker Mayfield trade
Yeah,
with like Baker as
Baker will
the
be Cooper
backup
Rush's
in
backup,
Dallas.
which Baker is a good backup to me. Um, but yeah.
And not even just a backup. Let's just say Cooper Rush is not playing well, or
Mhm.
Baker just comes in for gadget plays.
Mhm.
You know, they could. You know, I just think Baker doesn't need too much responsibility, and then Dak at the same time.
Baker
This ain't
squandered
this
the
ain't
best.
Dak's team, man. This ain't his team.
Baker squandered one of the best situations, man. He had Nick Chubb,
Oh, in Cleveland,
Kareem
yeah,
Hunt, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry in his prime,
and Joku.
could not and Joku and could not throw the ball in front of them. Like he couldn't throw the ball accurately. This corner. The Browns should have had a deep playoff runs. Dare I say a Super Bowl with that team? They had a good defense too. It's crazy.
Imagine if Josh Allen was doing that. You know,
Oh my god.
like
Oh
one of
my
these the
god.
young elite. Dude, it's crazy how much people, or I mean, maybe not now, but before guys like Skip Bayless,
Hmm.
media members,
They
freaking
love
standing
Baker.
up for Baker. I'm
They
like,
love
come
Baker.
on,
They love Baker, man. Baker's terrible. This is a first round pick, first in the draft, and nobody wants him. I've never seen that. I've never
freaking
seen that.
insane.
Never seen that out of a QB. Nobody wants him. Yeah, no trade value. Come on, man. Dak should. I mean,
So
Dak Baker
to
should
kind
not be
of
a starter.
soften the mood and I guess kind of like a more like drama filled game, we have Monday Night Football at 8:15. I felt like this one was one of the trio of games that was very intriguing because
Ew.
I feel like Russell Wilson's career is like on the line.
Again? How are the Broncos on primetime TV again?
I feel like Russell Wilson's career is on the line.
I
Two
don't
and three
know.
Broncos are underdogs on the road
Hmm.
versus the Chargers 3-2. I'm flexing with the Chargers on this one.
Chargers as
Um,
well. I don't trust Russ. I don't trust him.
Russ, like, and I feel like this game again. There's a lot of QBs around the league who a lot of teams are just realizing maybe he's not the guy. He just needs a new scenery. Dude, this experiment with Russ in Denver, I don't know how long does it last.
That offensive coordinator got to go. I think that's would be the first step, and then Russ gotta just he gotta make the reads, man. He was like, oh yeah, I had shoulder surgery. Your shoulder hurting is should not cause for you to miss a wide open receiver in the end zone to win the game. Like your shoulder got nothing to do with that. So I think Russ is thinking too much, or he's in his head too much. Maybe something's going on at home, man. You know, Brady might not be the only one stressed out.
Probably not, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's bringing too much into the field.
Yeah.
Brady's getting wins, man.
Yeah. Brady's getting
And
W's.
not even just wins, Brady's not looking as bad or emotionally detached
And
from the games
fair
as
to
Russ.
say, the Broncos have one of the best defense in the game as well. So it's like it's really on Russ.
And then you're in Denver. You have the home field advantage of just being the altitude.
I almost want to pick the Broncos on Monday.
They're on the road. They're on the road.
They're on the
They're
road.
in LA. Yeah,
Chargers
on the
got it.
road.
Chargers got it. Chargers
That's
got it.
that's who I'm going with. Yeah, that's who I'm going with. But
Huh?
that concludes the week 6 picks with the basketballs in the layer. Again, check us out every week. We'll
Check
have
us
our
out.
picks. This is the basketballs in. I'll see you guys next time.
All right, it's always a pleasure. Don't forget to like, subscribe. The basketball's in the lair. We are out, and we'll be back next week.